Okay, looks like we're live now. Hopefully, yeah. My last hangout cut off like the first minute or so. It said we were live, but we weren't. But hopefully, we won't have that problem. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out. I am here for the 0 people that are listening right now who are just improper. I'm here with my buddy Davis, and
Hey, what do you say?
yeah, we're here to discuss a little bit of breaking news. Um, which, by the way, you check your Twitter mentions if you're on Twitter. I tweeted this out. Anyways, it appears that good old Laughing Witch, who was recently doxxed after she tried to get Thunderfoot fired from his job. You know, you talk about these feminists talk about harassment. What could be more harassment than contacting someone's employer that they hurt your feelings on the internet? But anyways, she got doxxed recently.
Mind you, we are talking about the Thunderfoot who started spreading a rumor that I was a Holocaust denier. So this is a bit of a pot in the kettle situation there.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I did
what she did right. It makes it that Thunderfoot frickin' deserves this sort of bullshit because he deserves 10 times the amount that he gets. But it doesn't make her right.
Yeah, I did kind of look at that and like, well, maybe now you know how it feels. But that's not neither here nor there. You know,
Yeah.
I don't generally have the same animosity towards Thunderfoot you do because generally I don't think of Thunderfoot that much.
I just have a long memory.
He's a guy. To me, he's just a guy that's made a couple of cute anti-Nita videos. Anyways, Laughing Witch has had a big history. Laughing Witch has gone after Jordan Owen, Matt Forney, Sargon, Thunderfoot.
She's defended the MGTOWs.
Me, of all people, what the fuck am I? So yeah, she is. And the interesting thing is, this I just listed a bunch of different people, many of whom don't much care for each other, and to her, they're all on the same side. Because when you're that far left, everything is right wing.
Which it's so freaking weird. The people she lumps together. She thinks that she thinks either Thunderfoot or Sargon is in the Manosphere, or is that Kurt Logan?
Well, she was buddies with Kurt Logan, Kevin,
yes,
Logan, whatever the fuck his name is. Anyways,
overlap.
But yeah, I mean, let's face facts. I mean, Sargon is, let's say, left-leaning moderate to maybe some slight libertarian leanings in him, but he's by no means right-wing. Well, she thinks Sargon's not only right-wing, but she thinks he's like Stormfront fucking white nationalist. Okay, like that's how fucking far to the left. You know, it's like when you're looking off into the distance and there's 2 mountains that are really far apart, but you're seeing them and they almost look like they're right next to each other. That's what it is to Laughing Witch. She's so far to the left, everything is just one big clump, way off in the distance. But anyways, as I said, I was searching to see if, and I discovered an interesting little video which I showed Davis about a minute of it. I had seen this guy's stuff before. What the hell? How do you say this guy's name? Kazumi Fowler or some shit like that. Flower. I don't know. Some hippie
like
name.
An extra from Rick and Morty, folks.
Yeah, some hippie name, and he's this big fat guy with like a big nose ring, and he's bald, and he's got a big old beard, which is sometimes purple.
He doesn't look human. He looks like one of the aliens from Rick and Morty that does nothing but make fart sounds and do vaguely erotic things. Like this is how much blubber we're talking about, and he is.
He's a very big dude.
He is nude.
Yeah, he's at the very least shirtless. We can confirm that much. We're not seeing anything.
The Futurama, the nudist scammers. He's like that, but worse.
Anyways, I've seen a few of this guy's videos, and on the off chance you should hear this, buddy, you do seem like a nice guy. You seem like a reasonable guy. You seem like a kind of guy I could talk to. I certainly am not going to find a tremendous amount of common ground with you, but again, you seem like your heart's in the right place. I've seen a couple of videos he's done on MGTOW and on Roosh and shit. But he did a video, and I think if you just Google it, Laughing Witch is a shit stain on humanity is the name of it. Where even this guy is far to the left. even he couldn't stand Laughing Witch just based solely off the intellectual dishonesty of her. That she, she wants to, she would seek to destroy anybody who doesn't agree with her. Now, my theory is because again, she's gone. She had 2 Twitter accounts. I know this because she created a second one just to follow me and you, Davis, and Jordan Owen and Sargon and Thunderfoot and a bunch of other people that she's fucking obsessed with. She made a second Twitter account just to do that. That and her regular are gone. And her YouTube is apparently, at least according to when you click on the link to one of the videos, deactivated by the user. So she's rage quit. My theory, if I had to guess, because she got doxxed, she's apparently some HR hag at some company. She's some office lady, whatever. I don't remember her exact position, but high up enough to matter. My theory is her
enough to post fake reviews of her own company.
Yeah, my theory is her boss might have sat her down and say, if you intend to come into work tomorrow, Laughing Witch as an online entity needs to be gone. I don't know how much that's even fucking legal, but there does come a point when a boss is going to say, look, I'm going to fire you for this, and if I have to make something up, that's what I'll do.
You know what, man? When we got into this game, we kind of realized that there are going to be consequences. That if you're getting into political debate, you know what? If Ann Coulter does not get to work for Friendly Smiles Incorporated.
Nope.
Right? I mean, it's one thing if you say you need to delete your Facebook or your Twitter if you're just a minor person, right? But it's like Laughing Witch is actively trying to dox people and get them fired from their jobs. And it's like, that's, you know what, again, we're not talking about somebody posting a video on their Facebook, which is completely unrelated to their corporation, right? Or commenting on a blog. We're talking about somebody actively becoming engaged in things. And the simple fact of the matter is that no company wants that attention. So
yeah, especially
it's kind of a gray area.
When you're posting fake reviews about your company, you drug them into it. They can't even argue at that point where what she does outside of her job is her business because, I mean, she made it their business.
Yeah, exactly.
The company can't even take your side on that one.
That's the real damning factor in all of it. You know what? Like, if I would still defend, like, despite her being a complete bitch, I would still I'd defend her. Like, if her boss got pissed off at her or whatever, I would actually defend her and say, no, screw you, pal. She's just like, yeah, she's mouthing off about me, but you know what? Does that affect her job performance?
Sorry, my phone blowing up there. Yeah, that doesn't. But and again, hoist it on your own.
I can understand that they still would have a problem with it, but I would defend her just because. Sorry, what she does on her own hours outside of work is none of your frickin' business.
But yeah, hoist it on her own petard. This is somebody that actively tried to get other people fired from their jobs, and again, this is speculation. I don't know. Maybe she just decided to devote more time to her 40 cats. I don't know why she, I mean, as far as I know, there's no fucking way to contact her, and I don't particularly care quite enough to try, even if I could. I've never actually managed to make it the whole way through one of her videos. I get like a minute in, and I'm like, that's enough.
Well, I honestly I have no hate in my heart for her whatsoever. She really strikes me as one of the useful idiots. See, the actual Democrats out there, they know how to exploit guys like Sargon and Thunderfoot and use them to their own ends. Whereas she's one of the true believers, she's one of the suckers. She's one of the ones that's being completely destroyed by socialism. The same thing with the Russian, what do you want? Russian saboteurs, Russian, whatever. Like they recruit, homosexuals and socialists and feminists onto their side until they take over, and then they put all the homosexuals in a death camp.
Yeah,
And she's one of
I
those
wouldn't
useful
disagree with
idiots.
that. Yeah, she did buy in, but again, see, like take this guy we were just talking about, this Kissimi or whatever. I can't, I don't even begin to know how to fuck this pronounce that. Um, but that guy seems like a useful idiot to me too. And again, if you're listening, buddy, I'm not trying to be mean, you know. But he also seems like somebody you could talk to, somebody that at least tries to listen, somebody who at the very least pretends to listen. You know, he seems like somebody you could have a discussion with, however little common ground you might have. And again, I don't know that much about him. This is just impressions. Laughing Witch doesn't strike me that way. Laughing Witch, I interacted with her just enough in the past that, I mean, she fucking lies a great deal. You know, she just little fucking lies that barely, you know, even if people bought it, would barely get her that much ground. And I'm sure she does this for the greater good of her fucking cause. But just some interactions on comments and all. Some of the things Sargon has pointed out too, where, you know, she'll be like, basically, as from what I understand, she denied sending that letter to Thunderfoot's employer at first. So it's just, yeah, there was definitely an intellectual dishonesty about it all. And I mean,
well, I am notoriously too charitable with people.
I am too, but I've seen enough of Laughing Witch's type to be able to sniff that out.
Well, I also have an issue with recognizing borderlines. Like, and I've said as much. You know, they really slip under my radar because I pity them. And I'll be honest, I don't know that she's borderline, but I do have quite a bit of pity for her.
Well, she is a pitiable creature.
But you know, borderlines use that as a tool to hurt you. Sadly.
Let's see. Mark, I just got a comment. Mark Portman said, "You talk about this chick a lot." Well, she's a useful example, and you know, she talks about me a lot. So, or she did. I mean, way more than somebody with 500 subscribers fucking merits.
And you know what? There's a couple of people I've been talking about quite a bit. But you know, there's cause, and again, they're good examples. Now, there's definitely an element of great minds talk about ideas, mediocre minds talk about events, and lesser minds talk about people. True, but which is why I think that even when we're gossiping over somebody like Laughing Witch, we try and elevate it to the level of idea. We try and talk like, why is this person lying? Why is this person so deluded that they associate us with like they think that MGTOWs are liberals and that and filthy degenerate liberals like Sargon are conservatives. I mean, Sargon's never met anybody on the right that he wouldn't lovingly stab in the back. He's too afraid to stab Milo in the back, but he'd love to. At least that's my opinion. I probably have a harsher opinion of him than you do.
Well, Sargon's definitely not on the right. I tend to I just in the time I've seen him, I've seen a bit of an evolution in that direction. I think he's begrudgingly moving in that direction because while he might not like people on the right, you know, people on the left that are more often than not turning out to be laughing witches on him.
Well, and you know what? And okay, so I'll toss it because again, I'm way too charitable. Part of the reason I hold him in such so much contempt right now is because I gave him ample room and ample time to make things right, and he just avoided me. And it's like, dude, you don't call me a liar and then avoid me, you pussy. You know, like that. Those are fighting words, buddy. But yeah, again, if he wants to make things right, then I'm open. I accept apologies and I don't rub it in. I don't try and unlike social justice, if somebody apologizes to me and it's sincere, I accept it. I mean, even I'm ashamed to say I briefly accepted. Who's that Asian Nazi? SJW?
Who? Ian Miles Young.
No, Arthur Chu.
I was going to say because Ian Miles Young kind of turned tables and apologized and sort of started to side with Gamergate, but he's basically, as far as I can tell, that is a sincere repentance on his part.
Okay, the other one, Arthur Chu, has been.
Everyone got them mixed up. And
okay.
Ian even makes a joke about it, like, I am not Arthur Chu.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I'm just screwed up then, because Arthur Chu is still supporting the SJWs.
Oh yeah, he's still a little.
Oh, okay. So all right. So I. Oh, okay. So,
everybody gets them mixed up.
That's weird. That's weird that I get them mixed up. All right. Okay. Glad to hear that my forgiveness wasn't wasted.
Well, an interesting thing with Laughing Witch, I noticed. She, a few days, maybe a couple weeks ago, I had a little exchange with Sargon on Twitter. He was fighting with Oppressed Fart, which is that guy's name because the internet is the internet.
I just quoted him on my podcast, and damn you, Oppressed Fart, for making me say Oppressed Fart.
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
Anyways, he's having a spat with Sargon, and I don't even know the particulars. I don't even care all that much. I don't know how deeply involved in Gamergate I am, but I started tweeting at Sargon like, look, I don't know the particulars here, but I know a lot of more right-wing people in Gamergate feel like you're all too eager to throw them under the bus. And him and I had a back and forth. It was more because he was in the middle of fighting with, the other guy. And I didn't take any of it personally. And, at the end of it, I was finally like, there's kind of a lot I want to say here, but 140 characters doesn't really do it justice. So, and that was the end of it. It was a relatively civil little disagreement. And like a few days later, when Laughing Witch made that second account to follow you, me, and Sargon, and a few other people, and I kind of like, really, and then she's all like, are you fighting with Sargon too? I saw on Twitter the other day. And I'm like, yeah, calm your tits. We're not buddies, okay? Are you this desperate for allies? Because, I mean, there's a good chance Sargon might have me in the back as an ally. But with you, it's a certainty.
You know what? I'm going to say for the rest of this live stream, I'm going to work from the premise that Sargon's soul can be saved. So I'm only going to say nice things about him from now on.
In all honesty, I mean, I know you have a much deeper disagreement with him than I do. I don't have much of a problem with Sargon. He seems like a nice guy to me. And I certainly could have more of a debate with him than I could with most on the left. And
well, let's for a moment.
I don't really watch him, and I think he gets way too triggered when it comes to questions of religion, as basically all fucking atheists do. That's where I think he really. I'll leave it with this. Sargon is an all too typical atheist, and I think that sums up my problems with him.
And let me let's put it really simply. Listen, atheists, I think that as Christians just want you to realize two things. One, we make really good neighbors. All right? Even if you disagree with us and you think we're silly, we don't walk over to your front lawn and pour bleach on it. Okay? So we make really good neighbors. We don't try and murder your son or anything like that. And second of all, actually, I guess that's basically it. You know what? It's like Christianity is connected to science. Christianity is not trying to force you to do anything. I mean, we don't want to pay for abortions, all right, because we think that's a baby. But let me ask you, atheist, do you want to pay for a mother to murder her 2-year-old? You probably don't. So, I mean, it's like, can we please stop pretending there's a war between Christians and atheists? Like, the war is completely one-sided. And and basically every Christian is completely embarrassed by the Westboro Baptist Church and hates them and thinks they're all going to hell.
Yeah, you know what? There's certainly asshole Christians, but and there's certainly retarded Ken Ham types. But you know, even the Ken Hams and Rick Santorums aren't trying to slit your throat. So yeah, it could be a lot worse.
Is pushing some really stupid pseudoscience, and I don't want to see that in textbooks either. But like, and it would be bad. It would be bad for it to be in textbooks. But like, is it the end of the earth? You know, are we? Is it now the Handmaid's Tale? You know, no, no. It's an incredible minority, and we fight against them just as hard as you do. Oh well. Anyway, so you know what? I was kind of I was watching a bunch of South Park because this season is actually really good, and so to be sympathetic to the Sargon of Akkad's of the world, why does he hate Trump so much? And I think the answer is that like it's getting very polarized. Politics is getting very polarized right now. And politics is retarded.
You know, honestly, I think part of the reason that they hate Trump, just leftists in general, even the moderate leftists, because Trump doesn't buy into their frame at all. You know, Trump doesn't care what the snarky New York fucking crowd thinks. Um, yeah, Trump kind of takes the wind out of their sails a little bit. Like the only weapon these leftists have is snark, and it doesn't affect him at all. Let's see, Philip here comments she'll be back. There's attention for her here. Oh, I have no doubt she'll be back. Like I said, if I was a betting man, I'd say her company told her to knock it off. But yeah, I'd say there's probably a good chance she'll be back in some form or another.
Oh, probably anonymous account for a while, but we'll sniff it out within a week.
Oh yeah, everyone's who's into that kind of thing will recognize her voice at that point.
I mean, she can't stay away. She can't. She really thrives off which is it's funny that she thrives off the drama because I've never watched one of her videos, nor have you, not all the way through.
No, I get like a minute in, and I just,
like I watched 2.5 minutes of one of her 3-minute videos, and then I had enough.
Yeah, I know she's used clips in my videos, my podcast, and all. You know, if I was a dick, I would have filed with DMCA. But I believe too strongly in fair use that I'm not willing to pull that. But yeah, good Lord, I'm amazed she had work. I thought she was in government assistance or something because the amount of fucking videos she posts at any and all hours of the day.
Well, you know, let's be frank. She's like 50 or something. A 50-year-old woman working for an HR department might as well be on government assistance. Because it's not a real job, and she can never get fired.
Pretty much. It's
50-year-old. The only thing worse than the 50-year-old HR officer is a 25-year-old HR officer.
These poor girls that pursue these fucking office jobs. You know, I'm not one that thinks even for women like you got to go and get married and have kids or your life doesn't have no fucking meaning. You know, but yeah, getting married and have kids means more than just a pathetic, doesn't matter for anything fucking office job. And ain't like you're out there curing cancer.
Well, and you know what? Let's be realistic. These days, doesn't matter if you want to be a stay-at-home wife. You need a job.
Well, yeah.
You know, like there's nothing like you get these guys that are how to put it, like they're I don't know, they're red pill or they're masculine or whatever, and because of that, they don't want their wife to work. And I just want to smack these guys in the head and say, yeah, I wouldn't want my wife to work either. But you know what? You live in the 21st century. She's getting a fucking job.
Yeah, at a certain point, the bills are past due. I mean, half the time I don't particularly want to work, but that's why they got to pay me.
And here's the other half of that reality is that, wives used to, stay-at-home wives used to be very economically productive. They were, they were canning food, and they were engaged in social activities and church raffles, and etc. They were out there accomplishing stuff. A stay-at-home mom nowadays, well, first of all, even the best churches aren't, like, the best churches are crummier than the worst churches were 50 years ago. All right? Like, there is no social scene. There is very little for them to accomplish. Basically, she's going to be going stir crazy and watching soap operas.
Yeah. Are they even still on? I don't know. I haven't watched daytime TV in years.
Reading mummy blogs, if not. And those mummy blogs are just those are a blight upon society.
Oh, remember that one like 2 years ago that Jenny Erickson, that good little Christian blogger who was, divorce is only okay with beating and cheating, and then she just randomly got bored with her little beta hubby.
Mm-hmm. Who, like, honestly wasn't even beta.
No, not that much.
He was hardworking and tired. And by virtue of that, and you know what, I've been there actually. I've had girls break up with me. Like if you ever go through a rough period at work, brother, you're one step away from being self-employed. But we've all had that office job, and we've all had that day where the boss is just yelling at us at our office job and we have to take it. And I have had multiple girlfriends break up with me because I got yelled at work.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and so that's Jenny Erickson's husband. Guy was he's the top 20% of alpha. Okay, he's not like super alpha. He's not super rich or anything. The guy works for a living, but he's no pussy. He's no simpering beta. But you know what? He had a bad week, or bad 6 months maybe. Maybe the company was having troubles, and so everybody was working really hard, and there were or whatever. And that's why she broke up with him. She wasn't getting her tingles.
So one thing, I oddly enough, two people who don't care for each other that I talked to today both had the same reaction. Matt Forney and Jordan Owen both had the same reaction when I told them this, and they were like, "I'm sure that SJWs are going to prop her up as the latest woman chased off the internet by harassment." And that's kind of it. I see why they think that, but I actually don't really think so this time. Laughing Witch is incredibly toxic, but she never managed to position herself in a way, like Zoe Quinn managed to position herself in a way that, she knows where the skeletons are buried. She's had half these fucking man beards, these Goonie man beards dicks in her mouth. All right, nobody's throwing Zoe Quinn under the bus. Likewise, Anita Skumskeezian, she's too high profile. No one can throw her under the bus. Sarah Butts, I guess, got too high profile or knew where the bodies were buried or something, because that became a hill they all decided they were going to die on. I could be wrong, but I don't think Laughing Witch is a hill any of these freaks are going to die on. I don't really think most of them are going to bring her up. Like I said, the honest ones among them who are just misguided, even they are revolted by her. And I have a feeling that Laughing Witch's posting career goes out with a whimper and not a bang. I mean, this live stream may be the most coverage it gets.
I suspect you're right, and I think the what we can draw from all of this is like the left is based upon treachery. It's based upon backstabbing and manipulation and secrets and spying. And it's now the thing is that Laughing Witch was a true believer, but she didn't have dirt on anybody, and she used the same treacherous methods, lying and manipulating facts, etc. But she was a true believer, and because she was a true believer, she never got any dirt on anybody else, so nobody's going to support her.
No, and she was never high profile enough. Again, there was she kept her vein of interests particular. There were, when she created that second account to keep track of her enemies, there was only 11 people she followed. You and Jordan, Matt, me, mostly probably from being around you and Matt, Sargon and Thunderfoot, and that was about it. She stayed focused on her particular white whales. So,
and that's exactly what we are. I mean, it's, honey, you're not going to do anything to me.
Yeah, I don't care what the hell you say about me. I mean, you can go ahead and fucking call my employer. He'll fucking laugh at you. He didn't give a shit. I work blue collar. I work for a living, and as long as the work's getting done, he didn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, I could be doing amazing atheist style porn on the fucking internet. He doesn't care. Fucking banana riding TJ style. He wouldn't care. Fucking do something about it. I don't care.
You're not HR. You're not sales. You're working for a living.
Yeah, I don't. You dig up dirt on me. Fucking look at my portal gun history. Yeah, I went to some weird places. Fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Nobody really hates me either, so nobody's gonna jump to.
You know what? At the end of the day, nobody really cares.
Yeah, I'm too small time for any leftist to really fucking hate me, other than apparently Laughing Witch, and I'm too fucking friendly with everybody for anybody else to fucking hate me.
Well, and even myself, you know what? Nobody cares about the gossip because I talk about ideas. And the ideas stand on their own merit or not. They have nothing to do with me. And I don't claim to be, I'm not the second coming of Christ. Best case scenario, I eventually stop acting like an asshole and I get sainted after my death. But like right now, I'm a huge asshole. Saints are made, not born.
Well, we probably rambled on about this.
Well, I think that the real drawaway is that, like, listen, guys, and this is me being nice to Sargon of Akkad, the left is based upon treachery and backstabbing. It really, really is. And you might win points temporarily by backstabbing people on the right, but it's only temporary. It's all manipulation over on that side. It's all lies. There's no standards. There's no principles. It's like you really don't want to hang out with those people. And complete, like, listen, when you apologize to them, they eat you alive. When you apologize to one of us, we accept it and we never bring it up again.
I guess my closing thoughts. Laughing Witch, if you should hear this, and probably a fair chance you will. To whatever's left in you that's intellectually honest, I would ask this: are you happy? And I don't mean the snarky. Are you happy about? No, I mean just in general. Are you happy? Are you happy with the path that you have chosen here? Because it looks to me. And I often joke about the 40 cats, but yeah, you corrected me in the comment thread. It's actually 3 dogs. Okay, that's fucking wonderful. But it looks to me like you're fucking lonely. You have a meaningless job, which pays the bills, but it's meaningless, and it's meaningless. And your life is meaningless. You bought into this leftist horse shit, and look where it got you. You're a bitter old hag who got chased off the internet because one of your stupid stunts blew up in your face.
C.S. Lewis said that when you're traveling in the wrong direction, the first person to turn around is the most progressive.
Yeah, you're not part of the future. You're not on the right side of history or any other horse shit that you tell yourself at night in those still cold hours in the morning.
Even if your side wins, they're just sucking you dry. They're just using you. They're not going to give you any reward.
No, you're not. And you know that. You fucking know that. And you fill your life with this noise of fucking e-drama because, the quiet screams the truth. But you fucking know that. So, make your peace with your creator and try and be remotely useful in your fucking twilight years here. Because one good look at you tells me you're not going to be living to be 80. So, yeah,
Don't be hating, yo.
yeah. For the love of heaven, learn something from these shenanigans. Well, that's all I got. Davis, thanks for hopping on this impromptu little live stream. It's a bit of breaking news here. Yeah, that's about it. Beckloff out.